years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Good morning, Greater Westfield. It's Friday. You've made it through another week, almost. Only one day left. Unless you work less than a week and you've already had your last day, and then it is the end of the week for you. And
Stop.
This is JPEG Luca.
Unless you're Michael Buster McMahon with every other week off.
Yeah, that works too. This is JPEG Luca with JP's Talk About Town. Pete Coles on the other side of the board. Thank you for making us sound good each and every day and week, Peter. It makes my job easier because those of you who have ever listened, and I'm on that side of the board, once in a while, things don't go as smoothly as I would have liked.
Well, that's okay. I mean, Harry did his own show this week.
How'd that go?
Well, I was listening as I was heading out to Boston, and he missed shutting off his mics in the first break for about 10 seconds.
That can be humorous.
And nothing came out that was bad, so that's good. And
okay,
then he remembered what I told him. I told him, if you don't hear the music, your mics are on.
That's right.
And he went, he took off his headphones, and he goes, thinking to himself, I don't hear any music. He looked down, and he goes, oh, the mics are on.
Of course, we're talking about Harry Rock, who has Rock on Westfield.
Yes.
That's Wednesdays?
That's the third Wednesday of the month. No. Yeah, fourth Wednesday of the month.
Well, at least once a month.
Fourth Wednesday.
Hear Harry Rock and Rock on Westfield.
Yes.
Of course, Harry Rock is the president, chairperson, grand poobah of Westfield. As Westfield 350. He's kind of putting together our party for next year as Westfield turns 350 years old.
Correct.
So that'd be kind of fun. I'm looking forward to that.
We're in progress. We've started. We're going to tape a radio show in December with Westfield, England. A talk show between the two continents.
Ah, that's kind of cool.
And we're going to have it as a roll-in for our New Year's Eve celebration.
Excellent. And, of course, New Year's Eve is going to be a first night over in the Amelia Park complex. I mean, it's going to be everything from all of the skating rink, the children's museum, the Boys and Girls Club are all going to be open. The park is going to be open. The flower garden will be open. Of course, not with flowers. It's kind of
just going to be open, yeah.
But it'll be open to wander around, and we're going to have fireworks out there.
Yes.
It's at 7 o'clock. Now, the reason it's 7 o'clock is because it'll be midnight in England.
Right.
Which, of course, is, 350 years ago, we were kind of like more of a part of England than we are today.
Well, we were a colony of England.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And so part of that is going to be, I'm probably going to use this software that I use for remotes. I'm going to try to make that work.
Well, no one really cares.
I do.
It's because you and I are geeks and we love that kind of stuff. But nobody on the other side of the microphone cares how it all happens. It's just we talk, it goes in this, and it comes out on their end. They don't care how it gets there.
I guess.
Yeah.
For me, it's fascinating that we can pull this off.
Now, there's a lot going on before we get to the end of the year. In fact, we've just announced our lineup for the Concerts on the Green, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
Westfield on Weekends produces some wonderful entertainment and arts shows around the city of Westfield. But our Concerts on the Green are the third Thursdays of June, July, and August every year, and that won't change.
I'm going to miss the July one again.
The third Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
So the first one in June is going to be a Motown review. We're going to be bringing in the best sounds of Motown with some wonderful musicians, and we're working to get perhaps a name or two from one of those old classic Motown groups. So we're still working that one, but it's definitely going to be that genre of music. I think you'll enjoy that.
Nice.
Thursday in July, the third Thursday in July, will be our Kicks concert. That's our annual Kicks Country concert, produced by iHeartRadio in partnership with Westfield on Weekends. And then August is a change-up again. This is something kind of different. We're going to flash back to, well, you know how I like classic age of radio. We're going to go back to the classic age of big band music. And we're going to have Ed Orgill, who happens to be the head honcho of music instructor extraordinaire here at Westfield State University. And he's putting together a big band of wonderful artists and musicians here in Western Massachusetts, and a vocalist, we can't mention it now because we haven't tied her down yet. Yeah, we haven't really firmed up who it's going to be yet, but I think you'll be impressed. So a big band with a front vocalist should sound absolutely awesome. We hope you enjoy that. That's Westfield's Concerts on the Green, produced by Westfield on Weekends, the third Thursdays in each of June, July, and August this summer.
I think you need to laugh.
Ha, 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 ha.
No.
Oh, not that kind of laugh.
Right.
JP's Golden Age of Radio is straight ahead. We have a double shot of Jack Benny. We hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, and after that, I don't mean to be like Bob.
We need a break.
Yeah. But before we go to the break and then to Jack Benny,
yes,
in our 7 o'clock hour, we have a very special guest, Janet St. Jean. She's going to be talking about the very last Moriah concert here in Westfield. More to come on that. Janet St. Jean in our 7 o'clock hour. This is J. Pagluca. JP's Golden Age of Radio will be with you right after this.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Underwriting support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Greater Westfield Chamber of Commerce, the voice of business for the Greater Westfield communities. Informing, educating, advocating, the Chamber provides opportunities for members to make meaningful connections on local, regional, and state levels. For more information on the Chamber's many events, workshops, and programs, as well as the benefits of membership, visit westfieldbiz.org. The Chamber focuses on the most important economy, yours. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Discussions of local politics, events, happenings, and miscellany potpourri. That's what you'll find on Ken's Den, Tuesdays from 8 till 10.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
The Jack Benny Program. From the Marine Memorial Theater in San Francisco, California, and Jack Benny. With Mary Livingston, Rochester, Tennessee, Bob Crosby, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're broadcasting from the historic city of San Francisco. San Francisco, known the world over for its beautiful Golden Gate, its luxurious buildings, its extensive harbor, its gigantic and impressive bridges, its...
By the time he gets to me, I won't mean a thing. Now I know how Berkeley feels. Continue, Don.
If this were television, we'd show you several of these ageless wonders. But since this is radio, we can bring you only one ageless wonder, and here he is, Jack Benny!
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've only got 2 thank yous written here, but I say it 3 times. Hello again, this is Jack Benny talking, and Don, I'm not going to bore you out for that introduction. Not that it wasn't clever, but every time someone jokes about my age, it starts a long controversy.
Controversy?
Yes, I'm 39, and nobody can prove differently.
Well, I don't believe you're 39, and I'm going to check with the doctor who delivered you.
Well, you can forget it, Don. He died in 1900. Anyway, let's drop the subject. You know, there are plenty of other things to talk about besides my age. This is my final day at the Kern Theater, and I want to thank all the people in San Francisco for making me feel so at home. San Francisco is a beautiful city, and I hate to leave.
I don't blame you. When are you going back to Los Angeles?
Well, I want to go back on the Lark tomorrow night, but I just couldn't get a reservation.
Jack, I think I can help you with that.
You can?
Yeah, I don't like to brag, but I carry quite a bit of weight in this town.
Well, I would... Don, would you mind repeating that?
I said
Good
I carry
for
quite a bit
something.
of weight in this town.
Don, you carry so much... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. I've been doing good business at the Kern Theater. Why spoil it, you know? But I've been calling and calling about a reservation on the Lark tonight. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack.
Mary, I don't know what's come over me, but I've never seen you look so pretty before. I don't know, your complexion so clear, your cheeks so rosy. Have you got on your new makeup?
No, you've got on your new glasses.
Oh, yes. And Mary, I had these glasses made especially for San Francisco. Look at them.
Well, I don't see anything different.
Look closer.
Well, I'll be darned. Windshield wipers.
Yes, sir. Not only that, press the little button on the bridge of my glasses.
Holy smoke, built-in fog lights.
Yes, sir. There's nothing like... Mary, what are you sticking your finger in my ear for?
I'm checking your oil.
Oh, stop being silly.
Well, Mary, we'll soon be leaving San Francisco. Did you have a good time here?
Oh, just wonderful, Don. There's so much to do and so much to see.
Yeah, I get a kick out of everything here. Even the little things like the cable cars, you know?
What's so funny, Mary?
Well, I'm laughing at Jack talking about cable cars. I saw him yesterday morning on Powell Street.
What happened?
Well, when he thought no one was looking, he walked out in the middle of the street, stuck his finger in the slot, hooked it around the cable, and got hooked up the hill for nothing.
The way you read that, I didn't think I was going to get up the hill at all. Got hooked up the hill? Anyway, Mary, I just did that for a gag.
Oh, some gag. You were carrying 4 passengers.
Only 3 counted. 1 had a transfer. So don't be so smart.
Oh, I'm only kidding, Jack. You know, I'll be kind of sorry to leave San Francisco. We've been here for quite a while, and yet there's so many things that we'd all enjoy seeing again. The top of the Mark,
Fisherman's Wharf.
The Mint.
Chinatown?
The Golden Gate.
The Mint?
Wait a minute, Jack. Are you sure there's a mint in San Francisco?
Certainly. There are 6 mints in the United States. They're in San Francisco, Denver, Philadelphia, New York, Seattle, and New Orleans.
Oh, is there a mint in Washington, D.C.?
No, Mary. There are only mints in San Francisco, Denver, Philadelphia, New York, Seattle, and New Orleans. The one in Washington, D.C. is the Bureau of Engraving.
Oh, that's where they make the paper money.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, but I've never been in a mint.
Well, they are kind of hard to get into, you know.
Murray, if you want to visit the local mint, I can arrange it for you.
Well, you can, Don?
Certainly. I carry a lot of weight in this town.
Well, Don, that would be... Don, would you mind repeating that?
I was afraid of that, huh?
I carry a lot of weight in this town.
Don, you carry... No, I won't say it. I won't say it. I've got a good summer job at the May Company. I don't want to lose it.
You're right, Mary. Anyway, Don, do you think you can...
Oh, hello, Mr. Benny. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hello, Dennis. Dennis, I want to welcome you back to the program. We missed you last week.
Well, thanks.
How come you weren't on the show last week, Dennis?
Oh, I was sick.
Oh, yes, I received your telegram. But you never did mention what was wrong with you.
Oh, I felt awful. I had to have the doctor and everything. I had chills and fever and temperature and butterflies in my stomach.
No kidding. What'd the doctor do?
Well, he told me to stop eating butterflies.
You take them, will you, Mary? I tire easily.
Okay, Jack. Dennis, when did you arrive in San Francisco?
Yesterday morning, Mary.
Well, what have you been doing since then?
Oh, I've been spending most of my time in my hotel room.
Boy, we got a nice place.
Yeah, I've got a room with hot and cold running.
Hot and cold running water?
I don't know. There isn't any bathroom.
Dennis, I know I'm silly to ask you this. And the only possible good it can do the program is that Remley might laugh, fall off his stool, and break his guitar. But I'm going to ask it anyway.
Yes, sir.
First of all, though I want to be sure of my facts, your hotel room has no water, no bathroom.
That's right.
Well, what do you do when you need a bath?
Keep away from people.
Well, I asked a stupid question and stupid answered it. Now, Dennis, how about singing your song?
Yes, sir. I'm going to sing Your Mother and Mine.
Good. Go ahead, kid.
The angel voice that bids you good night kisses your cheek, whispers sleep tight. Your mother and mine. Your mother and mine. The helping hand that guides you along, whether you're right, whether you're wrong. Your mother and mine. Your mother and mine. What makes mothers all that they are might as well as what makes a star. Ask your heart to tell you her worth. Your heart must say heaven on earth, and all the words for divine. Your mother and mine.
was Dennis Day singing Your Mother and Mine. Very good, Dennis. It was excellent. And now, ladies and
I
gentlemen...
thought several of my notes were flat.
No, Dennis. They were fine. And now,
My
ladies and
enunciation was horrible.
No, Dennis. It was perfect. And now,
I
ladies...
thought my phrasing was lousy.
Dennis, why did you run yourself down like that?
When you're loaded with talent, you have to be modest.
Look, Dennis. Come in.
Telegram for Jack Benny.
Thanks. Here, boy, here's a tip for you.
Oh, boy, a nickel. Now I can go to the top of the mark and have coffee and Cimarron rolls.
See, they have those Cimarron rolls everywhere, don't they?
Who's the telegram from, Jack?
Oh, it's from the manager of the Kern Theater. It says, Dear Jack, you were right. Total attendance yesterday was 4,207 instead of 4,206. How you can count with that spotlight in your eyes, I'll never know. Of course, Mary, I was right. Anyway, Oh, hello, Bob.
Hi, Jack. Hello, everybody.
Well, Bob, our visit to San Francisco is about over. I suppose you'll be glad getting back home to your wife and children, huh?
Yes, Jack, but I'll kind of hate to leave. You know, it was right here in this city that I made my start in the entertainment business when I was just a kid.
Oh, I didn't know that, Bob.
Yes, Mary, my first job was singing with Anson Weeks Orchestra. I was just 15 years old, and I lasted one whole day. Then Anson told me if I could sound like Bing, he'd rehire me. So the next day I was back auditioning for him. I sang all of Bing's big hits like Blue of the Night, Please, I Surrender Dear, White Christmas, When the Swallows...
Wait a minute, Bob. You couldn't have sung White Christmas. It wasn't written then.
Well, I know, but I was desperate.
Did you get the job?
No, I had a tough break, Mary. Right in the middle of the audition, my voice changed.
Gee, that's a coincidence. When I was 15, my voice changed, too.
Really, Dennis?
Yeah, it got higher.
Quiet, Dennis. Bob, what'd you do after you left Anson Weeks?
Well, I formed my own orchestra, but I had pretty tough sledding. Anyway, we finally landed a job playing at Forbidden City.
Forbidden City? Isn't that a Chinese nightclub?
Mm-hmm. We were billed as Chang Wu Crosby's Royal Mongolians and the sweetest music this side of the Emeryville mudflat.
Well, Bob, enough of these reminiscences. We've got a show to do. And that reminds me, hey, why did Remley miss rehearsal yesterday?
Oh, Remley? Well, Frankie went to visit his brother.
Well, couldn't he be gone the day before?
No, yesterday was visiting day.
Oh, Remley's brother's in San Quentin, huh?
No, Alcatraz.
What'd he do?
Nothing. He's just Remley's brother.
They'll get you on that every time.
You know, Jack, I'd like to visit Alcatraz sometime.
Well, Bob, very few tourists get to see it. You know?
Wait a minute, Bob, wait a minute. If you'd like me to arrange a sightseeing tour of Alcatraz for you, I can do it.
Really, Don?
Certainly. I carry a lot of weight in this town.
Don, I don't want to hear any more about how much weight you carry in this town. If I hear that once more, I'll... Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Yes?
I'm Mr. Jones of Southern Pacific Railway.
Oh, yes. You finally get reservations for me on the Lark to Los Angeles for tomorrow night?
No, sir, I'm sorry, but the best I can do is to get your reservations on Friday.
Gee, I can't see why the train should be so crowded tomorrow night. There are 16 cars in that train, aren't there?
Yes, sir, but only 2 of the cars are carrying passengers.
Only 2? What are the other 14 cars for?
They're taking back the money you made up here.
You know, that's why I want to be on the same train. I don't want to be lonesome, you know? Aren't there any other trains leaving for Los Angeles tomorrow?
Yes, sir, the Daylight.
What time does it leave?
9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Well, wait a minute. If the train leaves at 9 at night, why do you call it the Daylight?
I don't know. We're just a crazy, mixed-up bunch of kids.
I wish I could get on tomorrow's lark.
I'm sorry I couldn't arrange that for you, Mr. Benny, but I do have some good news for you. I've got all the reservations for your summer vacation trip exactly as you planned it.
His summer vacation? Where's he going?
San Francisco, Denver, Philadelphia, New York, Seattle, and New Orleans.
And Mr. Jones, have my trip end in Washington, D.C. I want to see them print some, too. Goodbye, Mr. Jones.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr. Balzer. He's one of my writers. We finally gave him a part to read. You know, you can save a few bucks that way, you know. And now, kids...
Oh, just a second, Jack.
Yes, Don?
Don't you think it's time for a commercial?
Well, I certainly do. What have you got?
Well, the Sportsman Quartet have been spending a lot of time in Chinatown, and they've arranged a number they feel would be very appropriate for San Francisco.
Well, they were in Chinatown. Oh, well, fine, Don. Let's hear it.
Okay? Take it, fellas.
Chinatown, my Chinatown, where the light car goes, hearts that know no other land, drifting to and fro. Dreamy, dreamy Chinatown, almond eyes of brown, hearts beam light and life is bright in dreamy Chinatown.
Hey, that was really wonderful, Don. As a matter of fact, if I were doing my television show from San Francisco next Sunday, I'd have had a Chinese scene in it, just for that number, you know?
Jack, do you mean to tell me the next Sunday you're doing another television show?
That's right, Don. Time certainly flies, does it? You know, sometimes Come in. Well, look who's here. Lieutenant Governor Goodwin Knight of California.
Hello, Jack.
Governor, this is a great pleasure having you visit us on our radio show.
Thank you, Jack, but I'm really here at the request of Governor Earl Warren.
Gosh, Governor Warren, what a coincidence. You know, the last time I did a show in San Francisco 7 years ago, he was my guest star.
I know, but that's why he sent me here. You haven't paid him yet.
Paid him? Why, I was sure I sent him a check.
Oh, Jack, I was only joking. Governor Warren got your check and decided to keep it as a souvenir. He had it framed and keeps it in his office.
But how could he get my check back after he cashed it?
Oh, he didn't cash it.
Good. By the way, Governor, I'd like you to catch my stage show at the Kern Theater. I close tonight, you know.
I've already seen the show, Jack. I was there last night.
Wait a minute. Last night, were you sitting in the 14th row right on the aisle?
That's right.
And you came into the theater about 20 minutes late?
Yes, that's right. How did you know?
That empty seat had me worried to death. You see, I'm working on percentage, and I need all I can make. After all, on April 15th, I had to pay my state income taxes, and I sent a big check to Sacramento.
You did?
Yes. Doesn't that make you happy?
Why should it? I'm not working on a percentage.
You're not, eh? Well, you ought to get a different agent.
Oh, Jack, just a minute, please.
What is it, Bob?
Well, excuse me, but I'd like to ask the governor something.
Well, go ahead.
Well, it's confidential, Governor. Do you mind if I whispered in your ear? No, not at all. Well, Governor, I was... I'm sorry, Bob. Tell Remley I couldn't help his brother. That's a federal prison. Oh, well, then he'll just have to continue taking swimming lessons.
By the way, Governor, I'd like you to meet the rest of my cast. This is Mary.
Hello, Governor. It's awfully nice meeting you.
I've been looking forward to meeting you, too, Mary.
And last but not least, in my cast, my announcer, Don Wilson.
Hello, Governor.
Hello, Don. Nice seeing you again.
Again?
Certainly. Don is very popular up here in San Francisco, and he's very important, too.
You see, Jack, you see?
Governor, you're not kidding me about Don being important, are you?
No, Jack. Don carries a lot of weight in this town.
He does?
Yeah, especially around the Bay Area.
He's got gestures and everything. Well, Governor, I guess...
That's not a description.
No. Governor, I guess you've met my entire cast, huh?
Not yet, Jack. You haven't introduced me to Dennis Day.
I know, and someday you'll thank me. Believe me.
Jack, it's been a pleasure meeting you and your whole great gang. And if you're ever in Sacramento, call me up and I'll take you to lunch.
Lunch?
Well, if you haven't got time to have lunch, we can just have some coffee and cimarron rolls.
Yes, we will. Well, goodbye, Governor, and thanks for dropping in.
Goodbye, Jack.
I wish I could get him on my show steady. You know, he's such a sweet guy and so accommodating. But I guess we're going to have to get President Eisenhower on the program if we're going to help Remley's brother. I don't know. Anyway, it was nice of him. Hello?
Oh, boss, it's Rochester.
Rochester, I've been trying to reach you all day. Where are you?
I'm in Sausalito.
Sausalito, what are you doing there?
Nothing.
Nothing?
That's the main industry here.
What?
They got so much of it, they export it.
Oh, you mean things are kind of quiet over there?
Quiet. They just arrested a silkworm for disturbing the peace.
Now, wait a minute, Rochester. I didn't give you permission to go over there.
I know, boss, but I had a couple of spare hours on my hands.
Uh-huh.
And I was kind of lonesome.
Yeah?
And then I remembered I knew a girl over here in Sausalito.
All right, so what happened?
Main industry, nothing.
Well, look, Rochester, were there any calls or messages for me at the hotel?
Well, just before I left, the music critic from one of the San Francisco newspapers came to interview you.
Uh-huh.
So I told him everything I knew about your career as a comedian.
Well, good, good.
Then he wanted to know how you personally classified yourself as a violinist.
How I classified myself?
Yeah, so I told him that you thought your tone wasn't as resonant as it should be.
You told him that?
Yeah, then I told him you thought your fingering was clumsy and your bowing was awkward.
Rochester, why did you tell him that?
Boss, even when you haven't got it, you got to be modest.
I guess so. Well, goodbye, Rochester.
Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of the people of San Francisco for being so nice to me. I want to thank Lieutenant Governor Goodwin Knight for appearing on my show.
Oh, Mr. Benny, I'm mad at you for not introducing me to Governor Knight.
Why?
What a great team we'd make, night and day.
Good night, everybody.
Good day.
Listen again next week to the Jack Benny Show. Don Wilson speaking. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Commercial Distributing Company of Westfield. Now in its third generation of family ownership, Commercial is one of the premier beverage distributors of Western Massachusetts. The Plasek family and the staff of Commercial Distributing wishes you good times throughout the year and urges you to drink responsibly. Underwriting for community radio is provided by the YMCA of Greater Westfield. Every day, the YMCA strengthens the community through programs and services focused on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. For all the Y's many programs and services, visit us on the web at www.westfieldymca.org. The YMCA, 67 Court Street in downtown Westfield. We're more than a gym. We're a cause. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And this is J. Pankluka with JP's Talk About Town. We're in the midst of JP's Golden Age of Radio double shot. Right now, we're going to go right back to Jack Benny from 1951.
65. The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky, strike, be happy, go lucky strike today.
I like to dance and have good fun, and naturally I say, for smoking joy and better taste, go Lucky Strike today. You'll agree, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
If you are looking for a brand that you can smoke with zest, then you should switch to Lucky Strike, 'cause fine tobacco's best. That's why Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky strike, be happy, go lucky strike today.
Friends, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette you've ever smoked. That's a fact. They've got a taste all of their own. It's perfect. Yes, Lucky's are mild, rich, smooth. Everything that means more smoking enjoyment for you. And the reason is fine tobacco. You see, fine tobacco and only fine tobacco always gives you a better tasting cigarette. And LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. So light up a Lucky, and you'll agree with the millions of smokers who know Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. Yes, for complete smoking enjoyment, be happy, go Lucky. Make your next carton Lucky Strike.
Be happy, go lucky strike today.
Remember, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, the Sportsman Quartet, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, while Jack Benny was away in Las Vegas, he gave Rochester the week off. As we look into Jack's home in Beverly Hills, it is morning. Rochester hasn't returned yet, so Jack is preparing his own breakfast.
Now, where's that can of coffee? Oh, here it is. I hear music and there's no one there. Gee, coffee is so expensive now. Look at the pictures of Chase and Sanborn. They're smiling. Now, let's see. How do you make coffee? Oh, yes, there's an old saying. Use 1 spoonful for each cup and 1 for the pot. See, I want about 3 cups. 1, 2, 3, and... the heck with the pot. Now I'll get the dishes and the silverware here for the table. I hear music, but there's no one there. I smell blossoms, but the trees are bare. Having breakfast in my underwear. I wonder why. I wonder why. Well, I've got the table set. Gee, I hate to eat alone. I wonder where Rochester put that big mirror. Oh, yes, it's in my bedroom. I hate to sleep alone, too. Uh-oh, the coffee's starting to percolate. I've got the only coffee pot that's also on the Judy Canova show. Now, let's see. What else do I want for? Who's that?
It's me, boss.
Well, so you finally got here. You should have been home yesterday.
I know.
Well, where have you been?
Well...
Now, come on, Rochester. Tell me, where have you been?
Do you want the truth or an amazingly interesting alibi?
I want the truth.
I wish you'd listen to the alibi. I worked on it all morning.
Never mind the alibi. Just tell me where you've been.
Well, since I had a week off, I went down to stay with some friends in San Diego.
Uh-huh.
My friends introduced me to some of their friends who insisted that I stay with them for a while.
Uh-huh.
Then their friends introduced me to some of their friends, and they made me stay with them.
Uh-huh.
And I finally friendlied my way clear to San Francisco.
Rogers, if you went from San Diego to San Francisco, you had to come through Los Angeles. Why didn't you stop?
My friends didn't have any friends here.
Oh, so you spend most of your time in San Francisco.
Didn't you get my card from Louisville?
Louisville? Oh, so you went to the Kentucky Derby?
Yeah.
How'd you do?
The horse I bet on couldn't even friendly himself into third place.
Well, it serves you right. If you'd been back here last night instead of the... I'll get it. You finish my breakfast.
Thanks, I'm starved.
I mean, finish cooking it. Coming. I hear music and there's no one there. I smell blossoms. Oh, hello, Dennis.
Hello, Mr. Benny. Was that you singing?
Yeah.
You'll never get 2 shows.
Never mind that. What'd you come over here for?
Well, I wanted you to hear the song I rehearsed for the program.
Oh, yes. Come in.
Thank you.
Now, Dennis, go in the... Hey, wait a minute. What's that you got under your arm?
Oh, blueprints. I'm building a new house for me and my folks.
Really? Let me look at the plans.
Sure, here.
This looks nice. This is the dining room, isn't it?
Uh-huh. And right up here is the master bedroom.
The master bedroom?
Yeah, see? The dressing table goes here, the chaise lounge goes here, the refrigerator goes here, and the stove goes there.
Well, wait a minute, Dennis. Why would you have the refrigerator and stove in the bedroom?
My mother likes to have breakfast in bed.
Well, Dennis, if your mother likes to have breakfast in bed, why can't your father bring it in from the kitchen?
Because then the food would get all cold and soggy.
The food would get cold and soggy? Why?
To get from the kitchen to the bedroom, you have to go through the living room, and that's where we have our swimming pool.
You have a swimming pool in the living room? That's ridiculous.
No, it isn't. Look what we save on rugs.
Well, this is the craziest house. Dennis, why would you have... No, I'm not going to ask you.
There's no question you can ask that the architect already didn't.
Dennis, I've really had enough, but since I haven't had breakfast yet and I've got nothing to lose, we'll continue. When are the workmen going to start building your house? Huh?
Oh, this afternoon, and I want you to come to the housewarming tonight.
Dennis, if I can guess how the men can finish the house so fast, will you sing your song?
Uh-huh.
The carpenters are drinking Hadacol.
The name of my song is No One But You.
I knew it.
No one but you
possess you. Let my two eager arms possess you. You unbelievably warm, inconceivably wonderful. That's you. No one but you. Speak the language I understand. No touch holds the magic that's in your hand. You're mine, and I'll care for you so. And for me, there'll be no one else but you. No one but you. No one but you. I'll always love. No one but you. That was a beautiful song, Dennis. It'll be fine on the program.
Thanks. Can I go home now? I don't want to be late for the housewarming.
Yes, go. Now, Dennis.
Hey, Jackson! Jackson, stretch them tired old legs and come over here. I want to tell you something.
Hey, Mr. Benny, it's Phil.
Thanks for telling me, kid. For a minute, I thought it was the Duchess of Windsor. Come on, let's see what he wants, huh? Dennis, you don't have to hop on every track. Now walk like I do. Now cut that out! Silly kid. Those sideburns yet. What do you want, Phil?
Oh, hiya, Jackson. Look, I wanted to show you something I bought. Ain't they cute?
Say, they're dresses for a little baby.
Yeah, they're too small for your children, aren't they, Phil?
Oh, they're not for my kids. They're for Sammy the drummer's new baby. His wife had a little girl last week.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'll have to call him up.
Yeah, and say, Jackson, for a present, don't charge him for the first month's diaper service.
I won't. Have you seen the baby yet, Phil?
Yeah, she's awfully cute. She's got her mother's lips and her mother's eyes and Sammy's hair.
Well, don't worry. She'll grow her own, you know.
I doubt it. Sammy never did.
Hey, that's right. By the way, Phil, you were supposed to drop over last night and talk to me about some musical arrangements. Why didn't you show up?
Oh, I couldn't, Jackson. Last night, Alice dragged me into one of them meetings of the Parent Teachers Association, and, man, it was really embarrassing.
Embarrassing?
Yeah. I didn't know what they were talking about. One guy gets up and suggests that they coordinate all visual training aids.
Uh-huh.
Then the fellow in front of me raises his hand and suggests faculty representation at the Bilingual Festival in Ecuador. Then the fellow behind me makes a suggestion that a psychoanalytical basis be applied to compensate for the individual variance during the early academic year.
Well.
So, not to embarrass Alice, I got up and made a suggestion, too.
Well, good for you, Phil. What'd you suggest?
I made a motion they redecorate the cocktail bar in the school cafeteria.
Phil, you made a suggestion like that?
Yeah. I'm not worried about this tar, but how do you get these feathers off?
Oh, so that would have... I thought you were going where the wild goose goes.
Hey, that's very funny. Look, I got to run along now. I'm sorry I can't hear more of that, but I got to run off and leave it, though, Jackson. I'll see you later.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute, Phil. As long as you're going down to the cleaners, I wish you'd take a few things for me.
What makes you think I'm going to the cleaners?
That bundle of clothes lying on the back seat.
That's Ramley.
Ramley, then why have you got those two straps around them?
There's a handle on the back. It's easier to carry 'em.
Oh, yeah. Look, he's still got those labels from the time we were in London.
Now, there you go again. So long, Jackson. Goodbye, Phil.
Mr. Benny, I'm going to go home now.
Okay, Dennis, so long.
So long.
What a cast I've got. Dennis is stupid, Don is fat, and Phil has live luggage. Sometimes I wonder...
Oh, boss, Miss Willis is on the phone.
I'll take it in the living room. I hear music. Hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack. I told you I'd come over this afternoon, but I won't be able to.
Why not?
Well, tomorrow's my sister Babe's birthday, and right now I'm downtown doing some shopping.
Babe's birthday, eh? What are you going to get her, Mary?
Well, I don't know. It's a problem.
Oh, it shouldn't be hard to get Babe a gift. There's so many things she hasn't got.
Jack, the things she hasn't got, money can't buy.
Oh, well, it is a problem. So it's Babe's birthday, eh? How old is she, Mary?
39.
39? Go on. She's as old as I... Oh. Well, look, Mary, while you're buying a gift for Babe, buy her something for me, too.
Okay. How much do you want to spend?
Oh, I don't know. Get her a wristwatch, or a good bottle of perfume, or a silk scarf, or a pair of stockings.
Or a half a pound of candy?
Wait till I get down to it.
I was afraid you'd pass it.
You can stop with that, too. Last year I gave Babe a pair of gloves.
I know, but when the fight was called off, you took them back.
Took him back. Mary, if you're shopping at the May Company, tell them to take the candle out of the window. You're home.
You're not kidding. Remember Myrtle behind the lingerie counter?
Yeah?
Well, I'm going to be her summer replacement.
Good. Now, Mary, while you're there, will you... Wait a minute. Rochester! I'll have to hang up, Mary. There's someone at the door.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye. Coming. Oh, I wasn't expecting to see you again, Mr.
Collins of the Department of Internal Revenue.
Oh, yes, Mr. Collins.
And you remember my assistant, Herbert Thompson?
Yes. How do you do?
How do you do?
What can I do for you gentlemen this time?
Well, Mr. Benny, for a month now, we've been working on your 1950 income tax return, and we still can't believe that a man in your position only spent $17 for entertainment.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's all I spent. But since you gentlemen are here, there's a question I'd like to ask you about income tax.
Oh, we'd be glad to help you if we can.
Well, last week I did a broadcast from the Nellis Air Force Base at Las Vegas. And since I was in Las Vegas on business, can I legally deduct my losses there?
Well, I don't know. What did you lose?
One of my riders.
We heard your show and thought you lost all of them.
Now, look, gentlemen, you've been here 4 times already.
That's only because we're trying to help you.
I know.
Now, Mr. Benny, you have one item here on your 1950 return that puzzles us. If you want us to keep it confidential, we certainly will.
Well, thank you. What is it?
This item you've got down as a deduction here, $28 for a nightgown for Anne Sheridan.
Oh, yes, that was a replacement. I burned hers while I was ironing it. She's one of my best customers. Any other questions?
No. Let's go, Herb. Goodbye, Mr. Benny.
Goodbye. Goodbye, gentlemen. Goodbye. See, I think it's just wonderful the way those two men have been trying to help me.
Oh, boss, your breakfast is still waiting.
Well, bring it in the library, Rochester. I'm going in and read a while. Been so busy lately, I haven't had time to do any reading. Let's see. Got a lot of new books here. Here's one. Neither 5 nor 3 by Helen McInnes. Oh, I read that. It's good, too. The Caine Mutiny by Herman Wouk. I remember him. He used to write for Fred Allen, then quit to go to war. A coward. Now, here's one. King Midas and His Golden Touch. Oh, I remember reading King Midas. Had such a sad ending. They cured him. Oh, here's a new one. I was shanghaied. Hey, that sounds exciting. I think I'll read it. There we are. I was shanghaied. As I lie here, bound in chains, in the brig of a pirate ship, knowing that in a few short hours I must walk the plank, I realize that all this happened to me only because I was shanghaied. It all started in a little waterfront saloon in the town of San Francisco in the year 1792. I hadn't meant to go to San Francisco. I just friendlied my way there. I was about to order a drink when the bartender said to me,
Where are you from, partner?
I'm from Texas.
Texas? Where's your southern accent?
I lost it in Las Vegas.
No.
Yeah, I tried to make 2 U-Alls the hard way. Now, give me a drink. I had just picked up my glass when suddenly a man sneaked up behind me and hit me over the head with a club. It didn't knock me out, but the room became blurred, twisted, and distorted. For a minute, I thought I was watching television. But it couldn't be. This was 1792, and the coaxial cable only went from Lexington to Concord. In fact, when Paul Revere made his famous ride, we got it by kinescope. I'll never forget. Channel 1 if by land, Channel 2 if by sea. I had 2 more jokes on this when I was slugged again. When I came to, I was lying on the floor, trussed up below decks on a ship at sea. After many hours, the first mate came in, untied my arms and legs, and said,
All right, you landlubber, up on your feet. There's work to be done.
Wait a minute, what am I doing here?
We shanghaied you 2 days ago in a Frisco saloon, matey.
Shanghaied me? Where am I?
You're aboard the pirate ship SS Saratan.
Funny name for a pirate ship. Why do they call it the Saratan?
We sneak up on our prey by sailing backwards.
Well, tell me.
Stow the gab, matey. There's work to be done and done quick. You'll have to reef in the topsail, get the mizzenmast or the forecastle, keel haul the navigator, box the compass, reef the jib, port the helm, and swab the poop deck.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but the censor wanted to take it out.
Look, I'm not taking orders from you. I want to see the captain.
Well, he's over by the mizzenmast, but I wouldn't go near him if I were you. He's the cruelest, most vicious, bloodthirsty pirate that ever sailed the 7 seas.
I don't care. I'm going to see him anyway.
Your funeral.
As I walked across the deck, I had my first chance to see all the pirates. They were a motley crew and showed the signs of many battles. Some had long, livid scars. Some had their arms and slings.
and one of them had his head missing. And yet he was singing. He was the inspiration for that song. I hear music and there's no one there. Then over to one side, I saw 4 of them swabbing the deck. As they worked, they sang an old sea chanty.
Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, for many a stormy wind shall blow ere Jack comes home again. Sailing, sailing over the bounding main, we're happy-go-lucky that you know. It's lucky once again. LSMFT, all the sailors agree that LSMFT's fine tobacco, you see. Every sailorman is hopping on a lucky, 'cause there's nothing that'll beat a good old lucky when you're out at sea. Lucky Strike is wild, very tasty, that's true. Lucky Strike is round, and it's fully packed too. Comforting the something pleasure, here's a tip that you would treasure. Only LSMFT will do. Oh, it's LSMFT. LSMFT. Yes, it's LSMFT. Oh, it's LSMFT. Light up a lucky for me.
It gave me courage to hear them sing that song because now I knew I was on a lucky ship. The wind was smooth and mild. There was never a rough puff. I kept looking for the captain. Finally, I found him and said,
So you're the captain, eh? I understand you're the cruelest, most vicious, bloodthirsty pirate that ever sailed the 7 seas.
Ooh, am I?
Well, look, Captain, wait a minute. I've seen this ship before, years ago in San Francisco Harbor.
Certainly. We pirates captured it. It used to be an American warship, the USS Ulysses S. Sassafras.
The USS Ulysses S. Sassafras?
Yes, the USS Ulysses S. Sassafras.
Batten down the hatches. It's starting to rain.
Don't be silly. It's only us.
Fine buccaneer you are. I don't think you know anything about pirates.
I don't, eh? Look, I've sailed the seas under such bold pirates as Captain Kidd, Blackbeard, Jean Lafitte, and Milton Berle.
Wait a minute. What sea did you sail with Milton Berle?
The NBC. I knew you'd ask.
Never mind that. Now, look, Captain, I was shanghaied, and I want to get off this ship.
Nobody gets off this ship.
Ahoy, mates, ahoy!
You up in the crow's nest. What do you see?
There's a ship off the starboard bow. She's going around in circles.
Is she a 3-master or a 4-master?
A mixed master.
What?
She shows the colors of King Ferdinand of Spain.
A Spanish galleon. Open fire!
Look, they're firing back. We're hit amidships.
Here, he's beginning to list. Man the lifeboats. We're sinking.
That's sinking.
Don't tell me what condition the men are in.
Come on, we're not sinking. Let's get alongside the Spaniard and board her.
In the excitement, I boarded the galleon with them, and I've 2 fought side by side with the pirates. I realized that the ship carried a prize cargo. There were cases of Dr. Scholl's foot pads, boxes of lifesavers, thousands of cans of circus peanuts, 5 contour chairs, and 17 Revere tape recorders. These may not seem like prizes to you, but I won't be able to get into my house tomorrow. We took many prisoners from the Spanish galleon, including the captain. And as a reward for him, by part in the fight, the pirates permitted me to question him.
So you're the captain of the Spanish galleon, eh?
Si.
And you're ready to surrender?
Si.
And we will feed you and your men. Do you like beans?
Si.
What kind of beans do you like?
Soy.
Soy?
Si.
Now cut that out. We know your ship is on a secret mission. You better tell us about it. Now talk fast.
¿Cómo no, señor? Es verdad que el mundo es redondo y por tal razón hemos hecho la vuelta del mundo muchas veces. Oh, look out, matey. He's losing his temper. He's beginning to boil.
It was then that I recognized him. He was an old coffee pot. I I tried to take command of both ships, but suddenly the men turned on me. It was mutiny. The crew picked me up and put me on the plank. And with guns in my back, there was only one thing I could do. But instead of walking, I rode off the plank on a Schwinn bicycle. This is another plug. But when you're that close to doom, you gotta think fast. I was Shanghai.
Back, we'll be back in just a moment, but first, let's relax and have some happy-go-lucky fun at Coney Island.
The Hall of Mirrors mixed me up, but still it's clear to me that fine tobacco really counts as LSMFT. You'll see, too. Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Step right up and take a chance and hit the Red Bull's eyes. You'll win the tops in smoking joy, 'cause Lucky's are the prize. You can bet Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Be happy, go lucky, be happy, go lucky, strike, be happy, go lucky, strike today.
Friends, the really important thing about a cigarette is the quality of the tobacco that goes into it. That's why the makers of Lucky Strike choose right, light, naturally mild tobacco. Tobacco that makes Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette. No doubt about it, fine tobacco, and only fine tobacco, always gives you a better tasting cigarette. And LSMFT, Lucky Strike, means fine tobacco. So for complete smoking enjoyment, for everything you want in a cigarette, be happy, go lucky. You'll agree. Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette you've ever smoked. Yes, make your next carton Lucky Strike.
Be happy, go lucky, strike today.
Remember, Lucky's taste better than any other cigarette.
Good night, everybody.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And this is Jay Pankluka with JP's Talk About Town. Hope you enjoyed that double shot of Jack Benny and put a smile on your face for a Friday morning and kind of a Friday foggy morning. And we're going to actually air this segment again next Friday, because I am off, so we hope you enjoy this little interview that we've put together with Janet St. Jean. Janet has been in the music, I want to say business, but the music teaching profession for as long as I've known her. And I first met Janet at Munger Hill School when my kids were going there. So welcome, Janet St. Jean. Welcome to WSKB and JP's Talk About Town.
Well, thank you very much.
I understand you. Now, you a long history. As I said, when I first met you at Munger Hill, you came up with Young Singers, which were elementary school, and then middle school, and then Moriah, which was the high school singers, and it just kind of the cream of the crop of the kids that you brought up, right?
Well, that's correct. When I was at Munger Hill, we had a thriving chorus, and I loved Munger Hill, and I still love Munger Hill, and loved the kids there. And it was every day I would go in, and it was just fun, and it was almost like playing games, even though they learned a ton of stuff, and so did I from them. And we had a big chorus. We had 60 kids that were in the chorus, and and we had a great time. But I realized that there was a place in Westfield that would, for a chorus of kids who really wanted to do a little bit more. And so I sat down with my friend Alan Taylor, who was at First Congregational Church, and he looked at me and he said, okay, well, do it now or don't do it at all. And this was 2001. And so we put together, I remember in the fall, we put together a corporation and did all the nonprofit things. And finally, in November of 2001, we held auditions, and we said, well, if we get 25 people, we'll be happy. And we actually started with 48 singers.
No kidding.
And somewhere in that realm, and gave our first concert that spring, and the rest, and then it evolved from there. And it was just grades 3, 4, and 5 at that point. And so for a couple of years, what we did was we just had that configuration, but the 5th graders wanted to keep singing, and so we said okay, and then the 6th graders wanted to keep on singing, so we said okay, and I think it was 2005 finally we said okay, well we split, or we'd already split into juniors and seniors, and then there was a group that was going into high school and they didn't want to quit, and so we said, all right, we'll start a group. And the first group was called Leaders. And it was small, 6 girls. And they sang for a year. And then I think it was the second year, we sang a song called The Poet Sings. And in the middle of The Poet Sings, there's this great build-up. And they all sing the word Moriah. And the definition of it is the sound of the wind. And we looked at each other and we said, okay, girls, do you want to be Moriah? And they said, yes, we want to be Moriah.
I wondered where that name came from. That's a wonderful story. That's a good origination.
Well, it was, and it gave them a sense of identity. And they did concerts with young singers. They always sang in the young singer concerts. And in addition to that, they would, every year, they would give a concert of their own. And they would go out and they sang at the Arbors, they sang at the American Inn. For many, many years, they sang for the memorial service for cancer, people who succumbed to cancer. And they sang for the Kiwanis. They were always volunteering to sing in different places.
Now, all of that is coming to a close on the 7th, right? April 7th?
April 7th. Moriah is giving its final concert at 4 p.m. at First Congregational Church.
Which is a wonderful venue for that.
It is, and it's where they started. Mm-hmm. And for many years, both Young Singers and Moriah rehearsed at First Congregational Church.
I remember for many years, yes.
That's right.
I want to go back, and we're going to come back to how this is going, what's going to be happening, and what can people expect if they go out to the April 7th show.
Right.
I want to go back to Munger Hill for a minute. The years at Munger Hill, now of course, my kids sounded wonderful, and I knew mine were the best. But
of course they were.
So,
I remember Nick.
and everybody thinks their kid is the best, and I know that, and I get that. But around an elementary school, kids just run around, have a great time being kids.
Right.
The first time I saw you walk those kids out onto the stage, and they all sounded the same, with the same song, the same notes, the same. How do you do that with an elementary? Tell me the secret. To me, that was the most amazing thing.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say. I would say the first thing, it was in their general music classes. They became, we were tight. we just had such a wonderful time, and I was lucky because when I started there was a man named Ed Smith was the principal, and I remember my first interview with him, and he said, "I don't like music. I hated music when I was growing up." He said, "Just go in there and make sure that they behave." Well, and I said, "Fine, give me a space." And and he would come in a lot to watch what was going on, and I loved it when teachers would come in. And at the end of the first year, he said, "You can do whatever you want to." They're having a great time. They're learning so much, and so he pretty much gave me the run of my program. And for a music teacher, that's amazing. Because we would jump around, we would create songs, we would create dances, and when you get them when they're young, they'll do anything. And so you keep them going, and so the girls and the boys knew that was a real safe place for them to be.
And they learn without realizing they're learning something.
And I would too.
It was fun.
It was my whole way of teaching was let's create things. And yes, we'll learn songs too, but we'll also make our own, and that just freed them up. And also in school, when they were in their classrooms, they were sitting at desks. When they were with me, they were sitting on floors, then jumping up and playing instruments, and
something different.
That's right.
Let's talk about some of the instruments. When we come back from break, we'll talk a little bit about some of the other things. Other than singing, you were able to spin off within that class. You talked about the instruments. This is Jay Pagliuca. We're talking with Janet St. Jean from Young Singers, Moriah, and music programs all over Westfield. We'll be back right after this.
If you're down and confused and you don't remember who you're talking to, concentration slip away, because your baby is so far away. Well, there's a road in a twisted blood, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. 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 Don't be angry. Don't be sad. But don't sit crying over good times you had. There's a girl right next to you, and she's just waiting for something to do. And there's a road in the twisted love, and the eagle flies with the dove. And if you can't be with the one you love, honey, love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. Love the one you're with. why you win.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State T-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Wally Computer Associates, one of the largest technology providers in North America. Headquartered in Southwick, Wally provides all of the products and services that you'd expect from a world-class technology partner to schools, colleges, businesses, as well as state and local governments and agencies. Wally Computer Associates, meeting all of your technology needs. On the web at WCA.com. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646. Friday mornings is something different on 89.5 FM. It's JP's Talk About Town.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB. Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Good morning, everyone. Once again, we have more fun talking about stuff off air. This is Jay Pagluka with JP's Talk About Town, as we are here every Friday with some kind of interesting entertainment going on. This morning, we happen to have, or lucky enough to have, Janet St. Jean, music instructor, music leader, has been for many years here in the city of Westfield. Young singers and Moriah are kind of sunsetting to a close here. And your last Moriah concert will be?
On April 7th at 4 p.m. at First Congregational Church.
Well, we're going to be talking more about that in a little while, and you know, how Moriah evolved into what it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But let's go back. Just before the break, we were talking about Munger Hill and the kids, and I was mesmerized, always had been mesmerized how, you know, all the parents with their cameras and everything are ready for the kids to come out for the holiday concert. And they would file in such an orderly fashion, and they would go up on the stage. And
Jay, you seem to be stuck on that part.
And this amazing sound would come out.
He really is.
It wasn't just because it was amazing. But you taught them more than just singing. You brought instruments into the room. And, you know, how did that evolve?
Well, I had started to get involved with percussion instruments, with xylophones and metallophones and glockenspiels, and there's a whole program called approach called the Orff approach, which uses these instruments, and they can create their own music, and that's really the way the approach works, that they improvise, and out of that comes music eventually. And so I got the school to buy well, actually that's not true. They had the instruments there, but nobody had been using them.
Oh my.
And I'd forgotten about that. And so I pulled them out, and we used them.
So kids, when they first, in most cases, it's probably the first time they'd seen anything like that.
That's true.
So what's the first thing they do? You give them the little mallets, or they call them a mallet?
They do.
Okay.
And you can set them up so that they can't sound bad, so that they have to go together. It's called a pentatonic scale.
Really?
And any note on that 5-note scale will go with any other note. And so, yeah, we would...
Is that where the band Pentatonics, the singing group, gets their thing? Is that... They might be on the
Is
same
that name?
scale. Pentatonics, yeah.
Yeah. I know.
It's one of Bob Glass's favorite groups. He always plays stuff from.
It's one of my favorite groups.
I wonder if that's where they got it from.
Probably. Yeah.
It probably.
It's just like Moriah got their name from a song.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And so they would use it, and we'd I just developed systems so that they would rotate, and if they weren't playing that instrument, then they were playing maybe a shakeré or a tambourine or a hand drum, or they were dancing, moving. But we said moving. Thank you very much. The boys didn't want to dance ever, but they would move.
We still don't,
and
mostly because we know how we look. So
and they would sing, and so they were always doing something. They were seldom sitting and just having to. They were very active all the time, and because they were doing all of that, they were real comfortable singing. And so when it came time for chorus, I said, okay, well, we had a system that everybody had to be in chorus for the beginning, the first month or so, I think it was, and to try it out. And then anybody, I know it was through the first concert, and then if they didn't like to do it, they didn't have to stay. They could stay in their classrooms and do work on work or whatever their teachers wanted them to.
Other schoolwork, yeah.
And so that meant that they were okay. They were open to it. And usually out of 65 kids, there would be 4 or 5 kids that said, I really don't like to do this. But then that left 60 kids who were having a whole bunch of, once they got the choice and said, no, I don't have to do this unless I want to. That really freed them up.
So that was elementary school. And when did you leave Munger Hill?
Oh, I think it was around 2000.
And
2001.
You went. Is that when you went full time into Young Singers?
That's when I went not only full time into Young Singers, but I went full time, and there was a job that opened up at North Middle.
Oh,
that's
right.
And I was ready to take on the middle school beast, and that was, it turned out to be so much fun. And the most fun for me was the thing that most choral directors hate, which is general music. And again, they said, as long as these kids are having a good time, we're going to leave you alone. And I mean, I had a syllabus. I had everything that the state required and the school system required, and I was very clear about what they were learning. But within that parameter, again, we just created music.
So now you've taken a big jump to the next level, and and you had a lot of the same kids that you knew from Munger Hill, plus more.
At the beginning, I really did.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, a lot of kids knew that I was going up to the middle school.
Had knew you for 5 years, and now they're going to follow you for another few.
That's right. That's right.
When we come back, we're going to talk about how that middle school program ran and how you developed that. This is Jay Pagluka. We're talking with Janet St. Jean of Young Singers, Moriah, and of many music programs here in the city of Westfield. We'll be back right after this.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
Thursday morning from 6 till 8, it's Patrick Berry, owner of the Westfield News Group.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
This is Jay Pegluca with JP's Talk About Town. We're here with, in the studio with Janet St. Jean of Young Singers and Moriah, and many music programs around Westfield and beyond. You started, where was your first teaching job for in the music?
Oh, my Lord. It was in Bradford, Vermont, and I had gone to school up there, and at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. And
just over the river.
Just over the river, through the woods, and a music job opened up, and it was for elementary general music, middle and high school choral director, and you'll laugh about this, and beginning band instruments, and I knew nothing about beginning band instruments. And when they hired me, I was really frank with them, and I said, I know how to play clarinet, and that was it. And he said, oh, you'll be fine, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And so we went through the whole year, and I had taught the trombone player to play with the wrong hand going out. and he made a good sound, but he was backwards from everybody else, and so that was my only year.
You have a left-handed trombone.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
And so then they let me just do what I could do. And then
just keep going that way.
Right.
Everyone out of Vermont, just play it backwards.
And then I went. I left Vermont and went to Boston, and went to graduate school. And when I was done with graduate school, I got a job in Needham, Massachusetts, and that's actually where I met my husband, who moved back here to Westfield. And so I moved back to this area and got a job in Amherst, and then finally I got a job at Bunker Hill in Westfield.
Well, if the name St. Jean sounds familiar around the college here, Mark St. Jean, your husband, runs the media center just down the hall from us here at the studio.
That's right.
And it's amazing what the program he has there. With the television studio, and we do the Kiwanis auction in there every year, and as Schools Match Wits is also produced here. The kids,
he's a busy man,
are amazing.
He's a busy man.
Well, he is that, but he's taught the kids well, because I've watched the behind the scenes, and the kids, they're professionals. They do their jobs well, and produce very good television programs. It's that kind of reputation that the college has here. So I like seeing that.
Well, it's fun actually. It's fun living with him because we talk about this, and we can talk our professions, and we think we approach teaching in the same way, and being collaborative, and so he'll talk about these kids and he loves the kids, and I love the kids, and
but you wouldn't be in this if you didn't. Before the break, we talked about your moving to middle school and working with the music program at North Middle here in Westfield. Obviously, you've got the older kids there, and they're a little more developed, experienced. What now are you teaching them in order to prepare them for the next step, which may be the high school chorus? How do you make that transition with them?
Well, the nice thing was that in middle school, they have chorus 5 days a week. So you can work on detail things. But which makes it sound like, oh, that would be the perfect situation. Because I was used to working with kids once a week. And suddenly I thought, oh, well, we could do anything. But it's middle school. And really what you work on most in middle school is having them become young adults. And they have so much that they're working through as their brains just explode, and how to channel that energy into music, and that takes a lot of energy and a lot of time, and you get to know the kids really, really well, and so in rehearsals we would do things that I had never done before, like the young kid, the sixth graders, now the young kids, and they would come after lunch and they'd be really, really tired. And so at one point when I really see their energy flagging, I would say, okay, let's stop. And they all lay down on the floor, and we would just do breathing exercises. And some of them would fall asleep. And so you'd have about 4 minutes of absolute bliss, and then they would have the energy to really focus on what we were doing.
Go back to it.
Yeah.
Now, the music programs, I see it, they're struggling, and not just here in Westfield, but everywhere.
That's true.
When we still need reading, writing, arithmetic, and all of the basics you've got to learn. But that music thing, it was one of the things that kept me in school. It's one of the, I know my kids, they couldn't wait to come home and talk about whatever they were doing in music. A lot of times that was the reason they went to school. And I see that in kids today. What can we do to help encourage, and this is a loaded question, I'm sure, what can we do to help encourage not only the local administrations, but at a state level, a national level, to keep the music programs alive in our schools?
I don't think I can speak to the national level, because everything that I hear from the Trump administration is cutting funds, mm-hmm. and cutting programs. I think that's going to need a different administration to have that be strong again.
Well, that'll change.
And that will change.
So let's move to the state, local level.
Exactly. I think the strongest thing that the programs that I see that are really, really strong have directors, choral directors and band directors that are, one, they're well trained, and two, they're passionate about what they do. And the third thing is that they love kids, and
you have to.
There are teachers out there that don't necessarily have that same kind of passion, but they've got to see it as a mission. And the teachers that I know that do see it as a mission, their programs are thriving.
Well, one of the things when my kids were in band is we always seemed to be doing another fundraiser. It became almost comical. As soon as we finish one, it'd go to another. And I think one of the comics that I remember growing up with, Funky Winkerbean.
Yes.
The band director was always selling band turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
That was his fundraiser, the eternal. We're selling band turkeys. But I got involved when I think it was Maria's first year in high school. With something called Help Keep Music Education Alive. Mm-hmm. And that's when we would bring in a high-end tribute band. And in this case, it was the Beatles. In fact, I'm working with a show down in Stonington, Stonington, Connecticut, next weekend. And the kids get involved with it. They learn some of the Beatles music, and they will take the stage with the Beatles up on stage, the Beatlemania show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing to me that, first of all, that they know all the Beatles songs. I don't know why I should be amazed, but I am. But 50 years on, that's timeless music. And this has raised a lot of funding for local schools in the area, and I'm pleased to be part of that. I'm wondering if growing that may help keep music education alive.
That's true. And I think that the more that kids perform, and no matter what style, but when they get out there and connect with the town where they are, then the town is much more likely to support them, and they also see then in Westfield here, they see Westfield as their community.
That's what we've seen when the alumni come back for the Pops concerts at the high school. Mm-hmm. It's there's a sense of I'm back home. People came in from all over the country to be part of Pat Kennedy's Pops concert this year, 65th Pops concert. So that was fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 65 years of band and music. Now, of course, Pat Kennedy. We should mention Corey Bruno, who's the high school chorus director here in town.
That's right, and they go on trips and raise money for that. I just bought a coupon book last week from one of my Moriah girls who said, and we're selling this as a fundraiser.
So to families, businesses, just residents here, anyone within the sound of our voice, if you hear of anything going on with the music department in a school nearby, support it. Go see the concerts. If they're looking for a donation, a few bucks goes a long way.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Now, of course, you're here, we're talking, and the whole purpose to come in was to talk about Moriah as that is fading away for a lot of reasons. But that was a wonderful, wonderful group of both men. Well, the younger kids were boys.
We're boys and girls.
And it's always been, Moriah was always a group of ladies up there, high school.
That's right. Well, my expertise is unchanged voices. And in middle school, I worked with changing boys' voices. But I know treble. I know treble voices the best. Okay. And so with Moriah, it started as girls, and it just has continued that way.
That's amazing. We're going to talk about Moriah, how that became what we talked about. Well, we'll review how the name evolved or became Moriah. And then what do you have planned for your show? And that show is going to be on?
April 7th.
The last one.
That's right, 4 p.m. at First Congregational Church.
Put that on your calendars, folks. I think that's going to be a very special afternoon. This is J. Pegluca. We're talking with Janet St. Jean of Young Singers and Moriah, getting ready for their final concert. We'll be back right after this.
Once in your life you find her, someone who turns your heart around. Next thing you know, you're cruising down the town. Whipping still with you, even though you left her way across town. Wondering to yourself, hey, what have I found? Waking up between the moon and New York City. I know it's crazy, but it's true. Waking up between the moon and New York City. That's what you can do. That's what you can do. It's all love. Arthur Reed as he pleases. All of his life, his master's toys, and deep in his heart is just
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Comcast and Xfinity.com, offering Xfinity TV, Internet, home phone, and home security services. Information on all that Xfinity has to offer in the Westfield area is available online at Xfinity.com.
Underwriting for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield, serving the youth of the Whip City and surrounding communities since 1969. For more information on the Great Futures Club for ages 3 to 5, happening weekdays, and the Club Teen Center for ages 11 and older, weekdays from 6:30 till 8 p.m., go online at bcgwestfield.org or visit the club at 28 West Silver Street. The Boys and Girls Club of Greater Westfield. Great futures start here. We thank the generosity of our underwriters. For more information, please contact the Westfield State Foundation at 413-572-8646.
He rules the roost on Thursday from 6 till 10. It's Patrick Berry.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
And this is Jay Pagluka with JP's Talk About Town for a Friday. We're having a great time talking about music here in Westfield with Janet St. Jean and how we all have to be a little insane to do what we do. When you're in the entertainment business general, you've got to be a little bit on edge and ready to have fun and do everything with a smile, and I think everyone around you will enjoy it more. That's always been my philosophy.
I agree with it.
Yeah. Moriah, how has that evolved over the last few years, and how did you come to the decision, if you want to talk about it, to, all right, we're running to the end of its run? I mean, you're certainly going out on top. It has never been better.
Well, it's true. It's never been better. It's and I think what's happened in the last few years is that they've been challenged in ways that they had never been challenged before. They did a number of concerts up in Northampton, as well as Westfield, where they worked with adult groups. And they worked with Novi Cantori, who's here in Westfield, and then a group named called Illuminati, which is in Northampton. And
I've seen them, I've heard them.
And we were just lucky enough to be able to perform with them, and we just really had to be on our game. We were doing trickier music, more sophisticated music than we'd ever done before, and we had to learn it in a short period of time, and they got very focused, and they just got better and better, and once they got to that place, they were, this is who we are. And one of the funniest things that happened that is so much a girly high school thing is we got Moriah outfits. And and they were sparkly and spangly. They were actually from Dress Barn. Dress Barn. Here's an ad, a plug for you. And they felt like $1 million. And
they could develop their own identity then.
They did. They really did. And they became, when they were in those outfits, just so poised. But they somehow got a fire in their belly as a whole group. Now, all the way through, the first Moriah group was amazing, and many of them have gone on to professional careers.
Have you? I was going to ask, have you kept in touch with some that are still singing?
We do. There's Sarah Kohansky, who is she was in the middle run. And she's singing professionally now.
Oh, good.
And there's another girl, Ia Fontaine, who just got her doctorate in organ performance. And they're
but Alan Taylor's proud of that one.
I bet he is. Yeah. And Emily Raza is singing in the Springfield Symphony Chorus right now. And there are just a number of others that continue to sing. and love it.
Well, I'd like to offer this. I know this is your last concert, and I know they're in high school, and this is kind of a rough hour for them. I would love to have, after your guys are all done, let them know sometime if you want to bring them in here on a Friday morning. I would love to talk to them, have them sing a few songs on the air.
Oh my Lord!
Would be cool.
Knowing that crowd, they would be happy to. They're very outspoken, and one of the most fun things that we started to do. I'm going to say 5 years ago was we started to have rehearsals at my house, and suddenly they just became so tight. And something about coming into a home and, okay, here's where the glasses are, here's where the bathrooms are, here's where the snacks are.
This is your home now.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do. Don't need to ask. And they saw that they see that as their home.
They had been on Together in Song for a few years over on Channel 57.
They were.
Yeah, and I had the pleasure of joining you when Maria was with them, and that was another amazing process. There are a lot of incredible voices from around the state.
It's true. It was a wonderful show. They still do a show like that in Boston.
Okay. That's GBH over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. But they haven't, but GBY, I think they did it for 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. And that was fun.
It was. It absolutely was. Well, I'd certainly love to have them on air with me. So that's an open invitation. Whenever you find out when you can get the most of them together, and let me know, and we'll put them on the air here. Certainly to talk to them about where they're all going, but especially to have them sing a song or two. That would be wonderful.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we'd love that. And then
Thank you.
We'll get it recorded and put into posterity, and they'll be able to download it and keep it forever. How's that?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Again, we're going to be airing this again next week. I'm off to one of those Beatles shows we were talking about. I'll be working down in Stonington, Connecticut, help keep music education alive. It's why we're all here. And Janet, I want to thank you for coming in and talking about Moriah. Again, that last show of Moriah is happening
April 7th, 4 p.m. at First Congregational Church on 18 Broad Street in Westfield.
Right downtown, the big white church.
That's right, the church on the green.
Yeah. So please come on around and see this. I know you won't be disappointed. And just relax, listen to some wonderful music and wonderful voices. That's Moriah. Moriah.
Easy for you to say, Jay.
Yeah. Here in Westfield. Oh, who's the members of Moriah right now are?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I put you on the spot. You should have had the list.
Let me start with the accompanist, who is Jerry Noble.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Jerry's been with you for forever.
Forever.
Yes.
And going around... they're 15. So Mara Weiner is a senior. Mackenzie Haskins is at Westfield High School. She's a senior. Kat Hauk, that's 3 so far. Kieran Sharma, West Springfield. Mara O'Neill, Blandford. Taylor and Sarah Calabro are Southwick. Oh, I know I'm forgetting a whole bunch of girls, and I so apologize.
Watch the faces as they're up there.
Becca Osowski is Westfield. Rebecca Monty is Westfield. Aria Willie is Granville. Reese Cook is Westfield. That leaves 4 girls.
I love that they're from all over. Not just Westfield, they're from greater Westfield.
They are. I'm drawing a blank.
I'm sorry, that's my fault. I put you on the spot, and I should have said, write down a list. Well, then...
And there are 4 more.
There's 4 more, and you're going to get them on the air with us, and then we're going to have make sure we have them introduce themselves. We won't miss them. So
that will be wonderful.
Ladies, I will take the hit for that. I apologize for putting Mrs. St. Jean on the spot.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, listen, it's been wonderful to talk to you. Any last thoughts before we roll off the air?
just that it's an incredible group, and if you come to the concert, you will truly be inspired. They sound like angels.
That's exactly the term I was going to use. Yeah, come down and see the angels in the church. This is Jay Pankluka. Janet St. Jean has been our guest this morning, and come on out and see the last concert of Moriah right here in Westfield at the White Church on Saturday, April 7th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Janet. This is JP's Talk About Town. We'll be back. No, we won't be back. We're done. Have a great weekend, folks. Get out and see some live music.